Welcome to another Grizz Talk. I'm your host, Paul Kampe for the OaklandPress.com. Here again with Oakland men's coach, Greg Kampe. Greg, thanks for joining us. Sort of the...
I was going to wave to everybody first and then shake your hand. I mean,
I forget.
They're way more important than you are. I mean, without them, we don't exist, right?
Definitely, sure. Highest rated show in a couple of years running. Yeah. So, there's some big news besides the whole this last week. The NCAA talking about allowing stipends or additional monies for scholarships. I don't know if that's going through. I'm sure you know better than I. But how do you think that kind of thing would affect Oakland?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's a big deal. You're allowed to give $2,000 of kind of, it's almost spending money to athletes to help with the cost of college, things that the scholarship doesn't cover, like toothbrushes, I guess, I don't know.
Tube socks, probably.
Yeah, whatever. But so, it's going to depend. Every league is going to be able to vote on whether they're going to do it or not. So it'll be voted. We don't really have a say. It's our league that's going to tell us. And so there's 10 schools that are going to vote, and if the vote is yes, then we have the ability to do that. I think we'll have to do it, just because if you're being recruited and you. One school can give you $2,000 and the other school can't. Where are you going to go?
It puts some of the schools at a disadvantage, potentially?
Yeah, it could really put you at a disadvantage in recruiting. So I guess it's the new wave of where it's going. I'm old, been around a long time. I've seen a lot of things come and go. This could last a few years and it could be gone too. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we're going to be proactive and our league will be proactive.
Now, Oakland specifically, a couple exhibitions coming up before you kick off the season, November 14th. At Spring Arbor here at the Arena, and then you're going down the road to Rochester Adams for a matchup against Windsor on Election Day. I think fans want to know, I got a Twitter question from Matthew Brown, not a UMBC coach, but a guy, an Oakland University student, claims to be a marketing student. He wants to know what your starting five, do you have a plan on starting fives?
Tomorrow's starting five will be Bader, Hamilton, Valentine, Corey Petros, and Blake Cushionberry will be our starting five.
Cushionberry's going to make it five?
Yep, we're going to start, and just Blake's been around longer than Lavelle, and right now I'm leaning towards, and again, this is, that stuff changes, but right now I'm leaning towards, I think we get better when Lavelle comes in the game, and I think the ability to have a guy come off the bench and score points is always a bonus and a benefit. So
like Larry last year?
Like Larry did for us last year. And so I would, right now I'm leaning that direction, but based on how we play the first 5 to 8 games, that'll all be determined for me. So if in a perfect world I'd like Cushionberry to start and Lavelle come in, and Lavelle could come in for any of those four guys. So, he's very interchangeable. He played point for us, he can play the Cushionberry spot. So I like that about Lavelle. Now, if we started Lavelle, we could bring Cushion at a few of the spots. Well, I guess we could bring him in at the point and move Lavelle to the point. So, we'll see how it goes.
You touched a little bit on media day with about a 5-guard. I mean, does that kind of keep you up at night, anxiety, or is it the other way around? It's something that helps you sleep easy, knowing that you've got all these guys that can knock down shots anyway.
I think that there'll be times during the year, we've played around with it a little bit, not a lot yet, but there'll be times during the year, especially when we get into league season, where if we can get a lead early, and we go with 5 guards, and how are they going to guard them? And especially if we have the lead. Because now if we're behind, they'll just do what they got to do. But if we get an 8 or 10 point lead and we go 5 guards, we can see a Bell Holder or a Jordan Dykstra or that Marshall kid at North Dakota State. What are they going to do with that big guy? Are they going to leave him on the floor and zone us? I'm not sure you want to zone us. That's the way we shoot the ball. So are they going to guard, try and guard one of our guards with Jordan Dykstra or Bell Halter? Well, we'll just clear the floor and let them go. So if you have the lead, you can do some things. Now, we rebound pretty well, and our perimeter's big for a perimeter. We're 6'5" across the court, so that could pose some problems.
So What is your number one concern heading into the season?
I think three things would be right there. Rebounding, because rebounding is so important to me and my philosophy of the game. And we've been a great rebounding team, not a good one, a great one. And because we're smaller, are we going to rebound? I think we are. I think the Canadian trip showed that we can, but we haven't yet against top-level competition. So that's one. The second thing is, on the nights the ball's not going in the basket, how are we going to get our points, and how are we going to survive a close game? And then the third thing would be our post play from our freshmen. I really think our future is great, but you don't want to live in the future, you want to live in today. And so which of those freshmen are going to step up and play and you know, develop into the next Keith Benson, the next Will Hudson?
Now, when the season actually gets going, November 14th, you'll have 5 games in hand at that point. 3 exhibitions in Canada over the summer, and then 2, of course, in the next week. Could that have happened in a better year for you?
Well, that's why we planned the Canadian trip. We actually, it's every 4 years, and we could have gone last year, but we decided not to do that because we had such a veteran team. That Canadian trip's really when you have a young nucleus and you want to get them some minutes. So it's turned out really good for us. Practices have been great because of it. We haven't had to teach as much in these practices. We've already put in inbounds plays. We've already done some team stuff. So we can more work on refining and retooling than starting at, you know, like we did back in August, where the first practice was all talk and listen.
Scratch, basically.
Yeah.
So heading back to last night, we'll get into the more personal stuff. Halloween comes around, kids come up to Greg Kampe's store. What kind of candy are they walking away with?
Well, we want to give them good candy. So I went to the grocery store at 4:30. Halloween started at 6 o'clock, so I waited till 4:30 because I thought maybe the prices would be better at 4:30. I thought maybe they would, you know, they got all this Halloween candy, we got to get rid of it.
Yeah, they got to make room for Christmas.
Yeah, right. So I waited till 4:30, and I bought a big old bag of Kit Kats and Reese's cups, and then I got Babe Ruths because I have to eat the Babe Ruths. I mean, you know, you give candy and you eat candy. You know, the doorbell rings, you give candy and you eat it. So I had to have something for me to eat. And then the real good one, I had 3 little girls come to the house and they liked what's the Clark bar?
Oh, that's
Clark bar.
kind of old-fashioned.
Yeah, I didn't. It just happened to be in the thing. So, can I have that? Can I have that? Oh yeah, you can have them all. So they were digging through and got all the Clark bars. And then the other big bag of candy I bought was hot tamales. Hot tamales, but they were in little plastic things. I think there were only a couple in there. I think they're kind of cheap, but it was big, so it looked like
Very
they were
old-fashioned. Clark bars and hot tamales, not what I expected.
Well, it looked like they were getting more than they were getting because it was a big old bag. There were probably only 2 or 3 hot tamales in it. But you know, you want to. And then I said, take a half. Because I saw in their bags and I saw people were giving them like candy bars this big, and my Clark bars were only like this big. So I'm thinking, oh man, they're going to go say that Coach is cheap.
Yeah.
So I said, here, take a hand.
That's what happens.
Yeah, I don't.
You get egg. They're going to turn around, start launching.
Yeah, during the season, we'll be on TV and they'll be watching and they'll say, there's that cheap guy that only gave me a little Clark bar.
You want to get all the fans you can at the overlay. You don't want to mess around with anybody. Turn away any potential fans. You never know. They could be future players for Becky Francis. Exactly. They'll be like, is that Kampe guy still there? I don't know if I want to come on a recruiting visit. That cheap guy is still there in 2011.
Right. When I go to dinner, he might give me a Clark bar that's this big.
So you got the Republican debate here next week. You guys are actually going to bounce. So I hear the exhibition is going to be at Rochester Adams. Now, are you going to actually be around for the debate? Because that's the night after the exhibition?
Well,
the night before? How does that work?
You had to get approved to be here. And I did not ask to be approved because I wouldn't have been able to handle it if they had said you're not approved. You know, I'm sure Tom Izzo
didn't want to face the rejection.
Yeah, you know, Izzo would have probably gotten approved. So I didn't want to say, can you approve me and then not be approved? So I decided that, you know, we're not allowed in the building that day. So we're going to take all our video stuff and everything. We'll just go to my house and we'll have our meetings and do all our work at my house on that day.
Good deal. All right, Coach. Join us again in a couple of weeks. Probably on the eve of the season, we'll probably do another one of these. And thanks again for joining us.
My pleasure.